different things that the PUC oversees, and there's a lot of issues out there that consumers are not getting a fair shake on. If you're if you use rural telecommunications systems, we have this issue of phantom traffic, which means that when a large company such as Quest routes phone traffic, they use the rural telecoms lines to get those calls where they're going. And then when it comes time to produce the information as to where those calls came from and how long they lasted, whoops, Quest doesn't have that. Taking money out of our telecommunications co-ops across this state and out of the pockets of consumers all across this state, when we need strong rural telecoms, we need strong rural co-ops in order to build an infrastructure in this state that is going to be able to take broadband access to every single person in this state. And that's wrong. We need that to change. But it's not going to change until people start demanding it. We're not going to get wind energy in this state until we change the face of the Public Utilities Commission and until we get people all across this state to stand up and say, we want this now, and this is how we're going to get this done. You know, you think to yourself, if you could go back 4 years in time and tell people about $4 a gallon gas, what that would mean. We're at that point right now with energy in this country. We are quickly approaching a crisis. And allowing big energy companies to run the Public Utilities Commission, to dictate policy for this state, nothing is ever going to change until we reach that crisis stage. I talked to a couple the other night in Brookings, South Dakota. They're building a brand new house out there. And they really want to make it, you know, eco-friendly, energy efficient, green. As of right now, there's zero incentive for them to do that. We need policies in this state that empower people all across the state of South Dakota to make those upgrades to their home. And if you're building a new home and you do make it energy efficient, you should get a break back on that.
That's right.
We need to work towards an energy policy that is not only going to keep South Dakota strong and running forward, but as I'm sure everybody saw that T-Boone Pickens was in Rapid City here the other day and got everybody fired up over wind energy. And, you know, to a certain degree, he's a perfect spokesman for this. He's an oil man who understands that we have got to change the way we do business with this. Now, make no mistake about it, T-Boone Pickens is heavily invested in this wind energy thing, and if it goes up and running, he's going to make a ton of money off it. As well he should. But I want to see people in South Dakota making that money too. I want to see, I was talking with someone earlier tonight, that if we start providing incentives to people now, if we start providing the environment in this state to get wind energy up and running, there is a brand new economy to it. If we wait until energy reaches a real crisis point in this country and in this state, then we're going to be looking at all sorts of forced mandates on people that cannot afford it. You know, South Dakota is an agricultural state. We've got a ton of family ranchers and family farmers out there that are working hard and keeping this economy up and running. These are the people that can least afford these huge spikes in energy. And there's something we can do about it, and we're simply not. We need to change the direction. We need to get out there, talk about wind energy, talk about consumer rights, and make sure that it's not just talk. Make sure that this translates into action. Make sure that we have a legislature, an administration, and a Public Utilities Commission that is putting the consumer first, that is dedicated to finding solutions to the energy problems we find ourselves in today before we face a real crisis. And that is why I'm running for Public Utilities Commission. Now, my former job before this was I worked for the South Dakota Farmers Union. I was their lobbyist there. We worked on behalf of family farmers and ranchers all across the state, as well as rural co-ops. And I can tell you, there's a concerted effort in this state to get rid of the co-op model. to get rid of our rural electrics and our rural telecoms, to allow big business to come in and dominate everything. But it was our rural co-ops and our rural electrics that first brought energy and telephones across South Dakota. It was at a time when people said, there's no money in that. We can't simply go out there and give everybody a phone, give everybody electricity. They banded together and they got it done, and we can do it again if we get serious about wind energy. I would love your support this November. I hope to see you many more times before Election Day. Thank you very much for letting me speak.